Hello, you guys. This is John Berger, Average Movie Lover, coming back to you. And what's on my mind today? Dracula. I just saw The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and let's just say that it was pretty interesting. This movie is directed by Andre Overdahl and basically tells the story about how Dracula got from Transylvania to London. It only follows one chapter from the Bram Stoker novel, and although this movie has been getting its gripes, I actually found it to be pretty good. So like I said, this movie was directed by Andre Overdahl. He has directed many great movies in the horror genre. He's directed movies like Troll Hunter and Scary Stories That You Tell in the Dark. I mean, both movies were actually very good. But I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Troll Hunter myself because I've never been a big fan of the found footage genre. And Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, even though it was more set toward younger enthusiasts, it was definitely still a good movie. This movie was like a step up from that because basically this outline just follows one chapter of Bram Stoker's novel. Basically saying, oh, let's on a ship, monster on the ship, trapped at sea, there's your story. And that's basically a pretty simple story, if you ask me. But the whole point of it is to basically tell the story of how Dracula got from Transylvania to London. I mean, that was basically the whole story in a nutshell, because that's where Dracula's from, Transylvania. So how did he get to London, of course? I didn't expect much from this movie because, I mean, it's another Dracula movie, another vampire movie. I thought it was just going to be another, thriller that you may watch with friends. But honestly, it was very well done. I mean, I can't even tell how much the budget was spent on CGI. Maybe they spent it all on Dracula. But I mean, with the mixture of CGI and makeup and with the way the movie was shot, it basically gave you a creepy vibe almost the whole time. I mean, you're looking at first their normal crew members, and then as the story goes on, you start seeing them going crazier and crazier and mad because they know this monster's there. They just never can stop it, and it's like they're trapped on this ship with it. I mean, that's just gives you a very creepy vibe. I mean, that's a simple vibe too as well, but with the way it's shot, it just gives you that thrill constantly during the movie. My biggest shout out has to go to the actors. I mean, they all played great roles, which is probably why this movie was so good. But I mean, Corey Hawkins gave a great performance. I mean, you may remember him from Straight Outta Compton. Liam Cunningham also gave us a great performance as the captain. You may remember him as Sir Davos from Game of Thrones. But the one person who probably gave the best performance and really has been on a roll this year is David Dalsmasian. He has been on quite a roll this year. I mean, first he did Boogeyman. Then after that, it was Oppenheimer. And now he's doing this movie, Last Voyage of the Demeter. So 3 great movies all in 1 year. So, I mean, that's really impressive. Usually you guys hear me say, like, oh, there's these actors who meant to play these specific roles. Like, this actor's good at playing the villain. This actor is good at playing the action star. David Dalsmasian is not like that at all. You could probably give him any role for any character in any genre of movie, and he will play that to the best of his ability. That's what's great about him, that he can play probably any role you can think of. Though, of course, even though the movie was good overall, it did have its fair share of problems, specifically with Dracula himself. They started depicting Dracula as like this grotesque monster, which that really got me hooked because I was like, this is a new take on Dracula. This is something new altogether. We don't usually see Dracula like this. When I think of Dracula, of course, my first thoughts are not a grotesque monster. My thoughts are this classy, refined gentleman who is in disguise to hide the fact that he is a thing bang for bloods for him to survive. But that right there is the niche that sparked my interest more than anything, because since they're on a ship and he's trying to get somewhere, there's no need for that classy gentleman to be in this movie, because his whole purpose is to survive until they get to London so that he can continue his feeding streak. And then once he gets there, he can put on that disguise again. So there was no need for classy gentleman-like types in this movie, because his whole purpose is just to feed. So the grotesque monster definitely fit into this movie. The main problem here, though, with Dracula is that even though they were trying to make him like this grotesque beast, they still gave him emotion with, like, no personality. Like, he's enjoying killing things. And I mean, there was really no need to give him emotion, in my opinion, because his whole point of this movie is to survive to get to London. There's no need for him to toy with people or, basically have fun here. His point is to survive. So, I mean, basically, he eats, he goes to sleep. That's all he needs to do. But at the same time, he's toying and, like, making more vampires when he really doesn't need to. This version of Dracula kind of reminds me of the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. They both find the people they want to kill. They toy with them before they kill them. And then, of course, while they're doing it, they're showing emotion, having fun, like they're having fun with it. But the reason why it works well with the Creeper and not with Dracula here is because when the Creeper kills somebody, he's doing it to, because he's getting something out of it. He wants to make himself better. Like, make his body better or make himself stronger. Because anything he eats becomes a part of him. Whereas Dracula is just killing people to survive. But, I mean, he's not making himself better or anything like that. He's just creating more vampires. So, I mean, that's the reason why this whole, showing emotion while he's hunting just really doesn't work out. If they had just stuck with him being like the beast, that would have probably made the movie a little bit better. That, of course, though, was the only flaw I ever saw in this movie. But other than that, you will definitely love this movie, in my opinion. I mean, it gave me a lot more than I was expecting. There was more depth in character development than I was expecting, especially since the storyline is very, very simple. And I mean, I think anybody who is like a fan of, gothic horror or basically a fan of Dracula, in my opinion, will definitely like this movie. I'm going to give The Last Voyage of the Demeter a B-. It's a definitely well-made movie and really just creepy as hell. And I mean, it's definitely anyone who is a fan of horror will definitely enjoy this movie. Well, that just about wraps up this movie review. If you have seen The Last Voyage of the Demeter, please comment down below what your thoughts were, as well as if you're a fan of Dracula, please comment down below what you guys say is your favorite Dracula movie. Also, if you like my other videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. This is John Berg, your average movie lover, signing out.